you all know, today's been a very diverse of topics for security at the airports. For our next speaker, I'd like to call on Noam Shultz, who's part of the Air and Missile Defense Systems Division at Rafael Advanced Defense Systems. He's going to be talking about a topic that's very, very close to my heart, which is on unmanned systems for airport security and safety. So please, ladies and gentlemen, and distinguished guests, please put your hands together for Mr. Noam.
Well, still good morning, 10 minutes to that. Thank you very much. Thank you, Andrea. And thank you all for staying here to hear my presentation. My topics today is to try to provide you in kind of 20 minutes a perspective of how UAVs, UAS, remote pilot aircraft systems and such, all of the same name, really affects airport environment, civilian aviation, all over the world. And what I like to say is my perspective as an air traffic controller in my former business, I can show you both perspective of security and how to control UAV regarding airports. So this is my topics. I hope you'll find advantage of this. So I'll start with how remote pilot aircraft systems really impact what we call CTR, which is control zone of airports and terminal area. It's TMA. Well, this video clip, I found it a year ago when I was here in Dubai. It's the Future Museum, which I really recommend you to visit if you haven't done it until now. It's called the Future Museum. That video clip is actually the first thing that you see when you're coming into this museum, and it's all about what the future will look like. We need to start today to build up this future. It will be not done by itself. How are we going to do that? This is actually my presentation. So what are the relevant issues that UAVs affect airports environment? You could see that there are two red kind of drones. I mean red. One is red, one is blue. Red, those are the malicious, the stray, the unwanted drones. The blue are the ones that we want them to fly around the airport, sometimes inside the airport, to do some missions, surveillance and such. How we deal with those two kinds at the same time in our environment. How we deal with the security to avoid any kind of occasions. How we deal with safety. How we deconflict manned aircraft with non-manned aircraft or no pilots, remote control. How we deal with safety, as I said before, okay, and how we deal with the advanced AAM, air mobility, which is just around the corner to be implemented in the area, in this area and others. Also, I must mention that all this environment got commercial domain in all of it, that a lot of money is concerning it, to deal with it and to avoid those unwanted. So, I'd like to present to you a concept of skydome, which means how to deal with the unwanted UAVs, how we deal with it, to detect them, to avoid them, to interpret our airport area, and how we deal with what we call the good ones, those the ones that we need to actually monitor, control, and provide them the capability to doing their missions. Altogether should provide unified situational awareness. Okay? We call it protecting and controlling our skies. UTM, I will start with that, and then I will get to the other side of the equation. Most of you probably know very well what is ATM, Air Traffic Management. We're doing it for more than 70 years all over the world. A lot of technology, a lot of regulations gives us safe skies to fly and to bring people from side to side, from one state to another. Today, I'd like to show you another perspective, which is called UTM, which is the unmanned traffic management, should be just below the ATM, but not separated. It should not be separate, and I will explain in a minute. So what is it, UTM? What you see behind me right now, it's multi-UAVs, drones, remote pilot aircraft systems that provide many missions. Usually those drones are not connected directly to each other. The police drones do their jobs or missions regardless to the fire department, first aid, or even Amazon's providing any kind of goods one place to another. There are emergency drones that are doing their stuff, surveillance drones that are doing their stuff. There is a VLOS, visual line of sight drones. There is a behind visual line of sight. It's called BVLOS. All of these are not connected today. So it cannot be safe skies to fly in without something that will integrate all of those all together. The UTM should provide that network. That network have to meet some challenges regarding to what ATM provides today, which UTM is supposed to provide, but there are some challenges, okay? The domain is quite new. So regulations, legislations, technology, sorry for that, should catch up with the technology that is rising like that. We have multiple drone types which should be connected, and we need to figure out how to do that. And regarding to the ATM, when we're talking about recognize air situation picture, so ATM is based on radar, primary, secondary, IFF, ADSB, etc. How we provide recognize air situation picture for drones. Communication. We are used to UHF, VHF, HF, whatever it is relevant to unmanned. How we do communicate with remote pilots that are on the ground, they are not on the cockpit. How we do that? How we coordinate with them? We're talking about CTR, FIR, and such for airports environment. How we actually define those areas for drones. And eventually, we're talking about VFR, CVFR, IFR, all of those terms of traffic control. How we change those protocols into drones environment. Those are the questions. I like to suggest you some optional things to think about it. First of all, it should be algorithm. It should be application algorithm. We understand that human being, like air traffic controller, will not help like 1,000 or 2,000 drones in a specific area like Dubai environment or near to the airport here in Dubai. So it should be based on AI, it should be cloud-based, it should be very much cyber protected. I'm not going to talk all about the protocols and such because it's not a technical presentation, but we should interface protocols which will be common to everybody and every stakeholders. Regulation must be support all of it, including insurance stuff, which is a big gap here. And we should base on ATM principle, but to convert them to UTM. In a word or two, what is our ecosystem? So we're talking about UTM, multi of stakeholders, all of them relevant to what I'm talking about. We need to share with all of those stakeholders all about UTM. They should be partners of this event. a lot of information is out there, should be relevant to both stakeholders and our customers. Who's our customers? First of all of security and safety that using drones today. We are talking about other multi-drones operational system, but not forget the single drone operator that wants to fly his own drone and take a photo of Burj Khalifa. How we handle this? How we let him to do that? I will let this question to stay in the room. An example of how we do that in real time. This is a real program that we have, and what you see here is a manned aircraft flying on a fly plane was designed, and two of drones were inside. What we see is the green and the blue Airways 4 X-ray, XF, and now you could see that that drone was diverted. It was diverted to the south to avoid collision. That one done not by air traffic controller. It's by the AI, real time, by ICAO regulations. So all the things that we know to do by verbal, by our mind, today the AI is doing by itself. Let's talk for the last 7 minutes that I have about the other sides of the equation. How we secure airports environment. How we do that versus the unwanted drones. So first of all, I will answer the question, why should we? As civil aviation, as airport, why should we deal with these drones? This is the answer. This is the end of 22. All the events around the world. I don't want to, you know what, I don't know how much it cost the aviation industry, all those shutdowns of airports because of drones. So we need to provide capabilities. Now, the capability has two sides of equation. One is safety. How to provide air traffic controllers the capability to know situational awareness, where are the drones, and not to shut down the whole airspace just because one pilot saw a drone somewhere sometime. How we do that? On the other hand, and it's not air traffic control job, how to secure and to take down those drones, it's the police or any security agency to do that. But they need to be collaborate. Traffic control and security should work together on this case. It's not one side job. This is the idea and the main topic of mine. So detection, identification, and neutralization is a security. Situational awareness is the safety side. I will not get into details, just to meet you with some challenges of detection. If we use some sensors, effective, non-effective, it should be passive, active in airport environment, should be under regulations. Must be under the FAA, ICAO, any other regulations. Not disturb other capabilities like INS, ILS, and others. We're talking about identification. There are so much things around the airport and inside the airport, birds and stuff. We need to identify those relevant drones and to deal with them. How we deal with them is a big question. It's our friends from the police, they know to do it very well, and they will deal with it. But with cooperation with the tower, they know what's going on. And this is the key point here. So a good planning and other things that is written here, you can build up the solution both for the UTM, which is the wanted drones, and the counter UAS, which is the unwanted ones. So thank you for your patience. I know that the words were sometimes too professional, but I'm encourage you to come to me later on, and any question will be happily help us. Thank you very much.